everybody listen to Darren Carter. Yeah. We all know he's the party starter. So if you want to listen to a podcast for free, listen to a Pocket Party. Pocket Party. Darren.
Pocket Party Podcast. It's my favorite podcast. The Pocket Party Podcast.
Pocket Party Podcast. Put your hands together for your headliner, Darren Carter.
All right. Thank you. All right. What's up, guys? How you doing?
What's happening, Dallas, Texas?
And, are you ready to start the party? And some people are really ready, like this guy. The best laugher is this girl. Every time I do this face, she starts laughing. And we're back. Hey, everybody. That was a little clip of Dallas, Texas, which I'll be going back to. I'll be going to Fort Worth this week, and then Pleasanton, Tommy T's. I got Las Vegas at the Tropicana. I'll be at Lake Tahoe. A lot of dates. Go to DarrenCarter.com. And if you want to see what all that was about and what they were laughing at, go to my YouTube channel and subscribe. Please subscribe. And you'll see videos. Every week I put out videos, and just like I put out the podcast every week. And the more likes and subscribes I get, the more it encourages me to keep it up. Because this cruel, cruel world has a lot of that anger out there, man. A lot of that politics stuff, a lot of negativity out there. That's why I'm like, you know what? Let's just make our safe space. No, just like a fun place to have, like, I call it the Pocket Party Podcast, because you take out your device, you hit play, you start that party. And my goal for this podcast is to continue to make it feel good, make you happy, and bring you entertainment and hopefully some more information and whatnot. And we have a great guest ahead. You know, he's one of the most popular guests. It's Robert Thompson. This guy's amazing. He's a voiceover actor. He's been on Family Guy for like 8 or 9 seasons. He was on the Craig Ferguson show also for about, I think, 8 seasons. This guy is unbelievable, man. I'm so lucky to have a great friend that will, you know, do the podcast and keep you guys entertained and all that good stuff. So hopefully you leave the show. Hopefully my goal with all these podcasts is you stop listening, and at the end of the at the end of the podcast, when it's over, you feel better than when you started. You know what I'm saying? So big shout out to Beto Gomez, man. Thank you for retweeting. I said anybody that retweets the podcast link, I will help. By giving you a shout out. And as I am recording this right now, it's only Beto Gomez so far. I don't know, maybe I didn't give you guys enough time. Also, give a review, rate on iTunes, and take a screenshot that you did it, and I'll give you a shout out. And you can, and then in the review, you can plug your social media. So you could be like, hey, you know, whatever you want to say about the podcast. Now you do this on iTunes, on Apple Podcasts, and take a screenshot, and in there you could put your Instagram handle or your business, whatever it is, I don't care. And I'll read it on the air. By the way, if you guys are into Cameo, if you know what Cameo is, Snoop Dogg charges $500. He'll do a personalized message. A lot of celebrities will charge a lot of money. I do what I call rock bottom prices. And I will give you a message or wish somebody happy birthday or do something like that. And go to Cameo, look me up, Darren Carter. Or if you want to do a direct go to DarrenCarter.com, hit that PayPal button, and I'll do it. Just go to PayPal, throw down some money, say what you want me to do, and I'll make a little video, and I'll send it to you. All right, so there we go, guys. You guys are awesome. We're going to get into the podcast. We're going to start that party in your ear holes. Now get your jollies. Let's do it.
Pocket Party.
And we're Hey, everybody. One of my favorite guests, Josh Robert Thompson, will be here shortly. Right now, we got his roommate / buddy from Cleveland. They moved out here. I think they moved here together. I'm not sure. We got Darnell. What's happening, Darnell?
Hey, what is up there in Carter Party Starter?
Man.
You know, man. So good to see you, man. You look good. You look healthy.
Thank you. Thank
Yo,
you.
man, you've been doing the 80 crunches, 80 sit-up, whatever that shit is.
Yeah. No, you know what it is? In June,
Yeah.
I said, okay, June.
Yeah.
I'm like, because I had a birthday, right? And
Oh,
there's
yeah,
something
happy
about,
birthday.
Thank you.
I forgot.
There's something about birthdays where you start getting like, okay, let me just take this to the next level. Let me be
Yeah.
consistent with my life. No more excuses. So I said, let me do 50 push-ups,
You
50
got to take
sit-ups.
stock. 50
Yep.
push-ups, 50
50
sit-ups.
body squats. Boom.
50 body squat. You know, the sit-up real bad for your back, though, man. I feel like you're giving out bad information to people, man. You can really
Yeah.
hurt your back, man, your meniscus. and all
Oh, well,
that
sometimes
shit.
I do like the leg raises. But anyways, July I stepped it up because I'm like, how
Yeah.
can I step it up? Because I don't want to go too crazy. Because
No.
if I set it up to like, I'm going to do 300 a day, then I'll quit after 4 days, right?
Oh, of course, man. That's crazy. You can't. You tax yourself. Now, how old are you now? 50?
I'm almost there. I know, right?
Man, I'm playing with you, man. You 38, baby.
But I bumped up the exercises to 60 push-ups.
Oh my
60
God,
sit-ups,
man!
60.
And you able to sustain that? You able to
Yeah,
sustain?
yeah, and I haven't quit. And I did
Yeah.
I added 5 minutes of stretching.
Yeah, that's good. The stretching is important. I like to stretch
Yeah.
before sets. Before I'm about to get down to do some sets. Yeah, and then I stretch after sets too, you know, because I got to keep it long and
What do you
strong.
do? Do you like
keep it long and
like
strong.
do you like give yourself some private time in the shower?
Yeah, no, I pull on my deck. Yeah,
Oh,
you can
okay.
say it. You can say it. I know this is a family show, man, but not when I'm here, baby.
That's right.
You know, I love it, man. We hear Flappers and the Yoo-Hoo Room or whatever this
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
Why they call this Yoo-Hoo Room, man?
I don't know. I think it's
weird.
like a Yoo-Hoo drink tie-in or something.
That's what I thought. Like the milk they used to have the commercial, and people go Yoo-Hoo.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, motherfucker, I ain't drinking this. Yeah, that's stupid white people shit, man. Ain't
It's
no
like
brother drinking
fake
this.
chocolate milk.
Yeah,
right?
man, they drink chalky shit. Tastes like chalk, you know. It tastes like someone shit chalk in a glass bottle, man. But I wonder why they call this Yoo-Hoo, man. Like somebody go, hey, Yoo-Hoo or some shit. Like they call out to you and shit.
That'd be almost rude if you told
That's
someone.
like heckling, man.
Yeah, Yoo-hoo.
That's what
Yeah.
I mean, man. Shut up, trying to do jokes. Anyway, man, good to see you, man. I'm glad you're doing 85 push-ups, 67
Yeah.
squats, 100 body lift, whatever you're doing. Well, how old are you now, though, for real, man?
No, man, I just hit the big 4.9.
Oh, my God. So you really is 1 year away,
4.9.
man.
I'm 1 year away.
How's
That's
that feel,
right.
man? You feel good?
I feel good. I feel good. I got the lotion, so I'm trying to make my skin, looking good. And I'm
you
trying
got the
to
ashy skin,
not
man.
be out in the. I know I look like I'm just one big ash.
No,
but I'm
I
so-
get it, man.
But
My cousin like that, man. I got my cousin, man.
how old are you now?
Oh, me? Hell, man. You know me, man. I'm 62 years old, man.
Damn, you look good.
Yeah, man. I've been working out. I've been doing your workout, man.
Oh shit.
Now, like I said, man, pull it in the morning, pull it at night. That keeps your health all right. That's what I say, baby. You know how I talk about
Hey,
it.
I got to introduce you to Buddy McGirt, one of the
Yeah.
boxing trainers at the
Oh,
boxing
yeah,
gym.
buddy. You had told me about him.
So he's a 2-time world champion
Right,
now. When
right,
he
right,
fought,
right, right.
he was in the, I don't know how much he weighed, like in the 155,
Yeah,
150,
yeah,
160.
yeah.
I don't know.
You
but
don't know.
But now he's over 200 and he's big though. He's strong.
He's built, man.
And I go, what do you do? And I know he holds the pads for people. I know he trains them.
Right.
But I said, what do you do? And he goes, I got daughters, so I got to make sure I do my push-ups at night because, he goes, I gotta be able to like fight for, how do you say, for like, I think he said for a minute at least. So he hits them once, they don't go down. He hits them twice, they don't go down. That still gives him 30 seconds to run after and call 911 or
He's a
something.
smart man. Yeah, I got daughters too. I don't know how many or where, but I'm sure they out there, man. And if you're out there, kids, I love you, baby. I'll send you some money, man.
That's right. Now, do you know when Josh is coming? Do you know where he's?
I don't know, man. He said that he was in Reseda at a Middle Eastern restaurant over there off of Ventura, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they got some good Middle Eastern place up there, man.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I gotta check that out.
Yeah, out they got homies.
Hey, didn't you just do like or was that Josh? Somebody told me that somebody did an Armenian podcast or something
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
Josh had done a show, Wise Nuts or some shit. Oh, 4 Armenian guys, man. He was on video, so what you see,
Really?
is, it was a live video and so or Facebook or some shit, you see 4 Armenian guys, and then Josh in the middle. And I was like, is this a podcast or some kind of hostage video? You know, because you know, he looked like he's stuck.
Did you comment on it, or you just watched it?
Yeah, no, I comment. I was the only one watching, man. I was the only one commenting.
They do that, right? Those Facebook Live.
Yeah. But you can see, like
Hilarious.
Darnell said, Darnell just asked a question.
Darnell, this I know I've done. I did some stream theme recently where they had, and I'm like, the only people that were really talking were the people that hired me to come do it, and then a few others. But I'm like, those are probably right next to him.
And that's all about promotion.
But they all have to build it.
Yeah, you got to build.
So we do this segment with you, and it's called Ask Darnell.
Oh yeah, and it's convenient that I'm here at this moment for this segment.
So what I like to do is my podcast. You know, I usually just as a refresher, we keep it positive. You know, I tell people leave the politics at the door. We're not trying to. This is the podcast. They want to get away from all that.
Yeah, no one
you know,
else is.
and you know, I also want it to be evergreen, so they can hear it. You know, this month they can hear
so
it
it
2
ain't
months.
dated, man. Because you gonna go, oh, I remember that for 6 months ago.
Yeah, why is he
But,
still talking about whatever that
that earthquake that could have happened. It could happen any time, man. So ain't nothing.
Why is he still talking about the OJ chase?
Yeah.
But here's what I want to tell. But
Hey, Twitter world. Hey, it's yours truly, OJ. Hey, Twitter world. It's yours truly. And you know what? Hey, we're going to have a lot of fun riding on my golf cart and talking about fantasy football and my movie career. Those are probably the 2 things you want to talk to me about here on Twitter. Take care, Twitter world, and we're going to get revenge. Bye-bye. Yeah, I love him, man.
remember when he said that?
Yeah, something like that.
No, whatever happened to him? Because OJ, like, he popped up out of nowhere, and that made the news, and then I haven't really heard much.
Yeah, I think they calmed that shit down, man. He had like an assistant or something holding the phone.
Oh.
He'll be like, hey, you know, I got an idea for something.
And they're
hey,
like,
Twitter world, Michael Jackson died today. You know, I just want to say how sorry I am for everything.
Yeah, it was weird.
He's very inappropriate. So you got questions from your fans
Yes.
for Darnell Jenkins.
I put it out there. I said he's going to come on. We're going to do Ask Darnell. Now, like I said, now some of this stuff is, so I'm kind of breaking my own rule. It's a little bit topical.
Right.
But that's okay, because I like what you do with topical stuff.
Yeah,
so,
man, I could weave a tapestry.
Yeah, we'll weave. Okay, so and
my
some of
cigarette.
this, I don't even know what they're talking about. But okay, so the first one was
okay.
You got it. Okay, yeah.
Got my cigarette here, man. Okay.
Any? Oh, okay. This is I guess this is in the news now with Biden or something about segregation. So, do you have any friends that are segregationists?
Yeah, man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
I had a producer, man. My cousin had a production company called White Dove Productions, and he does all my music. And my cousin Petri Dish, you know, Petri Dish in the house. Big
I remember
P.
him.
Yeah, Big P. He's a rapper, man. He's out there in Pomona. He got a couple of albums out. He passing them out in front of the Chinese theater. You might have seen him. Anyway, point is, man, Petri Dish said he actually agreed with segregation because if you think about it, and I heard what he was saying, you get your own water fountain, you get your own bathroom, you know, you get your own lane on the freeway.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
So it's a positive way of saying, you know what, that's cool because this one's for us. And it's like a handicap. Like you got a handicap bathroom. You can't really be using that.
You know what? I wonder if
I mean?
plumbers were into that because they're hey, that's twice as many fountains. and bathrooms
the money
and,
would be coming in.
Yeah.
Like, man, the black community and the white community, I'm doubling my money. But yeah, man, I heard what Petri was saying, man. I don't know if I agree with it necessarily because I think we all together, you know. But I think it's cool, man. If I have my own private, washroom or something, and just said brothers only, man, I got no problem with that. It's like an exclusive club, man.
Okay, now what about this? Now here's
right.
here's another one. I never heard. Okay, I just learned this guy's. I'm not really big into sports, but Kawhi Leonard. I think his name Kawhi Leonard. So he's somebody. He went to the Clippers. He was a free agent. I guess he just won.
Man.
He won the NBA Finals for Toronto. Our basketball fans are probably laughing at me right now because I don't know what I'm talking about. So I guess he's going to play for the Clippers, which they thought he was going to go play for the Lakers, and then it would have been some mega super team with like LeBron and all these people. And you know.
Oh, I love Kauai, man. That's my favorite of the island. When I go to Hawaii, man, because you know why? Because it's all the vegetation still there, man.
Yeah,
they got dinosaurs there. You know that? If you go, that's where they shot Jurassic Park. You know, Kauai. Remember this? When the Spielberg went,
they used to have dinosaurs there.
No, they were. Those dinosaurs were really there. That's for real. When they shot them there, those dinosaurs were there naturally. So he from Hawaii. This guy, Kauai. That's where he was named from. That's why his name is Kauai.
Oh.
No, you know why? You know why they call him Kauai? Because because his genitalia overgrown and natural, just like the island. No, man, he a dinosaur, man. He a T-Rex. Also, they call him Kawhi because he got little tiny arms, just like a T-Rex. He big and tall, but got little tiny arms, man.
So
go to Kawhi, man. Take your family, man.
Kawhi Leonard. Okay, so there was the Kawhi Leonard.
No, man, take your family, man. I'm serious.
Oh, I've never. That's the one state I haven't been to.
Take your family.
I've been to 49. I've never been to Hawaii.
Listen, go to Kawhi. Go to Kawhi. Take your family. See a T-Rex or Velociraptor. I ain't shit with you, man. Go there, man.
Okay, here we go. Okay, this is a longer question.
Why you ignore your family, man? Go ahead.
Okay, here we go. Kendall Jenner is dating one of the Lakers.
Oh, yeah.
He is cursed. I think his name is Kyle Kuzma.
Kyle Kuzma.
Has he ever met Darnell, have you ever met excuse me.
Yeah, all right. Pace yourself.
Has he ever met a family of women that can curse people as much as the Jenners and the Kardashians?
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
Okay, so that's the question.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever met like a family like that where they're like, they just bring bad luck and these women are just like, they hook up with guys like, you could be like on a winning streak and then boom, all of a sudden.
Yeah, my buddy Jamal the Tamas family in Cleveland, man. 117th and Florian, man. Down the street, there's a girl. Her name was Jacqueline Tamas, right? Jacqueline Tamas, and she had 4 sisters, man. Ugly as hell, man. Ugly. When I was a kid, this when I was a kid, man. Jacqueline Tamas was a friend of mine in grade school.
Wow.
She had 4 sisters, ugly as hell, man, and they was all witches, man. No, man, because they like catch a toad or some shit, and they'd be like, hey, man, we make a potion and shit for you. And I know they had cursed me. They cursed me one time, man. They
put a curse on you?
They had a cauldron and shit in the backyard, man. That's how.
Now, were they
man.
Attractive?
No. The sisters were ugly as hell, man.
Oh.
Ugly. That's how I knew they were witches, man. Ugly as hell, man.
See, I think that's better when they're not attractive. Because when they are attractive, you get lured in
that's
by
the problem.
it, and then you start hooking up with them.
You get seduced.
That's
exactly,
the word,
man.
seduced. Yeah.
It's seduction, man.
Yeah.
And I didn't get seduced by them because they're ugly as hell. And Darnell's smart, man.
So these guys got seduced, and then they start losing.
Yeah, but see, other fools that ain't smart like me, they see any kind of woman down there, go, oh yeah, man, she cooked me some stew or some shit.
Right.
Like, nah, man, that's a potion, man. But not me, man. Darnell's smart.
Okay, here's one for you too.
Ugly ass women.
It's another topical one. This was trending on Twitter today. There was like a fight at Disneyland. Did you happen to see the Disneyland fight?
Those are my cousins.
You know those people?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I know,
it's
man.
Like,
I'm embarrassed to say, man. But I'll tell you what, man. There's a lot of pressure at Disneyland.
There
you
is.
Take your kids,
all the prices.
it costs a lot of money. Walt Disney was anti-Semitic. So I get it, man. People get worked up, So I think now people it's the happiest place on earth, but hey, man, if you're going to get into it, you got to get into it. I think also it was on Main Street, so it wasn't like, if it was in like Frontierland, that's different, man. You can't be messed with that. But Main Street, you're going to expect that. And that's the rough streets, man, of Main Street. And it wasn't at the Star Wars one either, man.
That's I'm glad. Can you imagine? Like, and on the bright side, I mean, they at least they knew each other. It wasn't like strangers fighting each other.
Was it at Disneyland?
I believe it was at Disneyland. Yeah, it was a family, and this guy was punching this girl, and this other girl got.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. And listen, man, prices are high. The lines are long too, man. That's why that's
something you'd see more like at Magic Mountain back in the day.
Yeah,
Disneyland.
maybe Universal Studios, like Toontown.
Oh yeah.
Was that where it was? It was at Disneyland.
I think it was on Main Street. I think you're right.
Because it made sense to me. Like Toontown, that made sense because I hated Toontown.
Really?
That was stupid, man. With Roger Rabbit, I hated that shit.
You're like, let me just bust someone in the mouth.
No, it would make me fight people, man. I would see that fiberglass Roger Rabbit, and I'd be like, I hate this shit, and then I just start punching people, man. But it's cool. They gave me a season pass. So.
Okay, here's the last one. Last question.
Yeah.
So I've been seeing these vans all around, like Burbank, L.A., North Hollywood, just everywhere I go.
Right.
I think they're pink vans, and they say topless maids.
Hell yeah.
Have you ever seen a topless maid van?
I run that company, man. Did you? How'd you? Oh, we never talked about this.
Yeah, no.
I'm an entrepreneur, as you know, man. I'm a musician. I got a production company, White Dove Productions. I run with my cousin Petrie this. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
But yeah, man, we started topless hoes, topless maids. What is it? Topless
in Cleveland or in LA?
Well, it started in Cleveland, originally in Cleveland.
Now, what was it like when you first started?
It's
kind of how you got to talk someone into doing that.
Yeah, well, it was my cousin Lakeisha.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, Lakeisha, man, we'll make a little bit of money, man. She was struggling. And so what we did is we got my my dad had an old VW bus.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, man, why don't you, I tell you what, man, I'm going to drive you around, man. Go clean some people's houses and shit. And I had a girl, one of my girlfriends at the time would clean my house with no top on.
Yeah.
I said, damn, there could be something here, man. That's what I said to myself. I didn't say it to her.
Yeah.
I said, damn, there could be something here, And so I asked around my friends. I said, man, you maybe clean their house and stuff. So, yeah, man, that's how it started, And I'm $3-4 million a year, man.
Wow.
I'm untouchable, man. That's why I ain't been on for a while, man, because I'm a businessman.
I wonder why. I'm just curious because, like, you think these girls would just be topless dancers, but now they have to be topless and like dust and
it's a
vacuum
skill, man.
and mop and stuff.
Yeah. Because if I go to a strip club and I see
Yeah.
you take your top off, that ain't nothing. Anybody could do that.
Yeah.
I could do that. You could do that.
Yeah,
you know
it's
what I mean.
true.
Sometimes you do in your act. I seen
Right.
you get crazy out there, man. I go, hey, man, calm down. But I'm saying, man,
Push ups, sit ups, stretching.
exactly, man. But I'm telling you, if you take your top off and you're able to mop my floor,
Right.
or you're able to put my dishes away, or you ever had your bed made so well that like you get in it, it's like you fit in like a glove. It's like
like a hotel.
Yeah. I mean, but if you have your top off while you're doing it, that's a tip right there.
Oh,
you know
that's
what I mean?
good.
I think it shows their skill in a way that just stripping by itself does not. So actually, it's advantageous for a woman to do it because I feel like it shows that they're actually smart and they got skills.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's good. Well, that was
Toppers.
Ask Darnell.
Yeah,
I like
man.
that, man. You're good at this.
Yeah, thanks, man.
You got a lot of opinions, man. Some of those, some people are not that opinionated. You just flow with any kind of opinion.
Yeah, because I mean, life is short.
Yeah,
We had an
yeah.
earthquake recently, or
Yes.
maybe it was a long time ago. I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
It's not evergreen, so it could be tomorrow.
Right.
It could have happened last
Right.
week.
Right.
Remember that earthquake from 5 years ago?
Yeah.
If you're listening now, 5 years from now. Remember that 7.1? Where were you when that happened, man?
Where were you? I was at the Comedy Magic Club.
During your set?
Yeah. No, I was
You were
on
just
right
there.
after. In fact, I put a video on YouTube
Yeah.
because I had to follow it. Man, where were you, Darnell? Well, let me ask you this: July 4th, there was an earthquake in the morning.
Yeah,
and that one. Do you remember where you were at for that?
Oh, I
one?
know where I was, man. I ain't gonna tell you because she said, "Hey, man, was that you? Or was that the Earth moving?" I said, "I think it's both, baby." Yeah, no, I was having sex, man.
Oh, okay. And then where
I
were
was having sex.
I like how you don't say sex; you say cess.
No, I said sex. Yeah, I said it.
Sounds like cess.
Yeah, I said sex.
So that was July 4th. You gave
Yeah.
her some fireworks.
Oh, I did, man. Yeah.
Some early fireworks.
Oh, Roman candle right here, man. When does it stop? Yeah. Roman candle, they're like 7 bursts of light, so she don't know when it's gonna stop.
So that was the morning. Now,
Yeah.
So now, what about the next night? So it's July 5th. It's at night. Now, where were you on? Do you remember where you were at on the 7.1?
I was having sex, man.
No way.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
Yeah. And that was a good one too.
The
man.
epicenter was Ridgecrest, right?
Nah, man, the epicenter was over my house, man. And her name was, I can't tell you her name, man.
Hey,
She's a
you made
big
her
girl.
Ridgecrest.
Yeah, man, there you go. Oh, man.
I gotta ask Josh where he was at. I wonder.
Yeah. Is he here yet?
I think he's coming. Hold on. You want me to go check, or you want to go check?
No, I'll be back, man.
Okay.
Hold up, man.
I'm gonna pour some more coffee.
Have some coffee, man. Talk to people, man.
Okay. So yeah, that was Darnell. Darnell's great, man. He's one of those guys that's like, he flows with it.
be back, brother.
I did. Okay, cool. Like I go, hey, do you want me to ask you? Like, do you want me to tell you these questions before, or do you want me to just do it on the air? And he goes, hey, and he goes, yeah, man, just ask me on the air. We'll just flow with it, Like he's really easy like that. Hey, Josh,
Hey.
how are you, buddy?
I'm so sorry I'm late, man.
No, it's okay. I talked to Darnell.
Oh my God! How does he always get here before me?
I don't know.
And
What's
why
up?
is he here?
Darnell, wait, go to the bar. The bar's still open, and we'll hang out after the show. Give us like another I don't know, like 45 minutes or something. Okay.
Who is he? He's gonna have sex? He's gonna have sex?
Dude, that guy's hilarious. I don't even know if he's. I think
This guy called me on 4th of July
Yeah.
while he was having sex to ask me if I was okay because the earthquake had happened.
Do you think part of me is like I want to believe some of the stuff he says, but he has
Yeah.
these wild stories. But I'll tell you why I go with it because
Yeah.
when I used to work at a radio station when I was growing up, and there was a janitor there, and that janitor would say all kinds of like wild stuff. And I remember telling my dad that I'd tell my dad, hey, I forget the janitor. He was a custodian, and he would say these things at the radio station. And my dad goes, you know what? Sometimes people tell these stories. He goes, just enjoy the story and don't try to always find if they're lying or not, or if they're just enjoy the story for what it is. And I thought that was great advice.
Well, I think with Darnell particularly, you want to avoid questioning him because
Yeah.
he may hurt you.
Oh.
I mean, there could be an altercation.
Like he told me, like, can I tell you one of the things?
Yeah,
he said?
yeah.
Because I asked him about that topless maid thing.
Oh,
and,
yeah,
and
yeah.
I thought maybe he was going to say he hired one.
And
or
he said he owns it.
Yeah,
Is that what
he
he
said
told you?
he said he owns the ones
Yeah.
in L.A. and
Yeah.
stuff.
That's true, actually.
It is. That's
Yeah,
true.
I know.
He's
I thought
like
he
what-
was full of shit.
Like a part owner or like a full owner. or-
He's part owner.
Yeah.
I think he came into it somehow. Maybe
somehow.
I don't know.
Like, it's always okay.
You tell you about Petri Dish?
Yeah,
one of his
yeah,
cousins
his
was at
cousins. Yep.
at the Disneyland thing or something.
the thing or something like that.
Darnell knows a lot of people, man.
It's funny
He's a
he
good guy.
does because
Yeah.
you know what? And then after I put these podcasts out, people will message me and they know him and stuff. So
No, he's a good friend. I
like
keep telling
him.
him to do comedy. I feel like Darnell would be really
he's
good
great.
at it.
He's a natural. You know what? Can I
Good
just tell you real quick
stories.
though? But with that janitor guy that
Oh,
I
the
back
custodial
at
engineer.
back at the yes, he's
Yeah, we wanna
custodial engineer.
Church it up a little bit.
Back in Fresno when I was growing up, one of the things he said is, and I'll always remember this. He goes, life is a shit sandwich, but the more bread you have, the less shit you got to eat. And I thought that was good.
That's kind of brilliant.
Yeah.
Because if you buffer,
Right.
it's like you're padding the shit
yeah.
with a lot of bread. That's a lot of carbs, though, right? I mean, isn't that what?
It's actually, if you really think about it, it's the same amount of shit. There's just more bread, you know. But
So it's like you're diluting yourself into how much shit there is.
Yeah, maybe life is a shit sandwich, and the more bread you have, maybe you just don't taste as much shit.
You're not aware of how much shit there
Yes,
is.
this is gross. Okay, but yeah.
That's kind of that's a
So
sage
Darnell,
bit of advice.
they said that you did like a podcast or something with some Armenians or something like that. or-
Yeah, the Wise Nuts podcast, man.
Yeah.
The guy that cuts my hair, Alfred Hakvardian. Hello, and he's great. He's
Hey, my
great at what-
brother-in-law, my wife's Armenian, and,
Right.
and my brother-in-law's Armenian, and it's hilarious because his wife is Armenian, like really Armenian, and they gave me a birthday card, and you guess how she spelled Darren? Darren is how it's spelled. Some
Right.
people add an I. She spelled it with like the word was Iran, but then the D's in the front, so it's like Darren.
Darren.
Yeah, like Darren.
Hello, Diran.
Yeah, exactly.
Diran.
I was like, I've never seen that.
Diran, how are you? It's nice to meet you. Hello.
I thought that was hilarious.
These guys, they know you. They're fans of
yeah,
yours.
they're my sister-in-law. Yeah,
They probably all know each other.
exactly.
It was weird.
Oh, the Armenians. Oh,
Yeah, the Armenians.
Yeah.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, they knew me.
Yeah, they know your work.
That's
And then
cool.
one of the guys was like, "Yeah, his wife is Armenian," and I'm like, "How do you know that?" And then I realized, oh, they all know each other.
That's
They're all
cool.
friends.
The Armenian. Yeah. Plus, I did this cartoon called The Armenian Baby, and it really made its rounds in Glendale. Like, I mean, thousands of
Oh,
people
huge.
saw it, and it was really cool to like.
Okay.
They kind of showed me like if you put something out, you can make it kind of specific and a group of people.
Well, they said
whatever they're
if-
into.
Yeah, that it appeals to them, but they said if you bring people liquor in the Armenian community, you'll become friends. Like all the old
Oh.
guys that play backgammon in the park.
Oh.
They said, yeah, if you want to get in with them, just bring them a bottle of some kind of whiskey or something. And I was like, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah. Hey guys, who wants to play chess?
Hi, I'm just a white guy here. I hang out with the community. But yeah, it was a funny show, man. I had a lot of fun doing it.
Oh, dude! Speaking of, because chess is it's I think it's mandatory in Armenia, like at the school system. Like,
Oh.
it's one of the class.
Really? That's
they
true?
play chess. Yeah, it's totally true. And I'm big into chess. And my little Armenian shout out to Rafi and Armin. They do these chess tournaments and they win. And you remember what I told you about my socks, right? When it's
Yeah,
when it's
right.
a special show and it's something big. I wear my chess socks.
That's right, man.
Look what I'm wearing because I got Robert Thompson on. I got my.
He
chess
has
socks.
the chess socks.
That's right. It's kind of weird.
Wow.
Right? Look at that. One's black and one's white with opposite
And they've got
colored
alternate,
pieces.
yeah, the chess pieces.
Yeah, these are brand new. These are from my Armenian brother-in-law.
What kind of shoes
Yeah.
are those you have, bro?
The Adidas, bro.
Oh, that's
Wearing
Adidas. Yeah, you are Armenian, bro.
Yeah, and then look at this shirt. The shirt, it's the Adidas logo, but it says Los
Los
Angeles.
Angeles.
That'd be cool if it said Glendale, but
Dude, you are Armenian. That's like as Armenian as it gets. They expanded the Adidas store at the Glendale Galleria.
did they really?
Yeah, because half of that used to be my old salon, Carlton Salon. But then they were like, "We're announcing it is closing to make room for more Adidas."
Adidas.
And I'm like, "How much Adidas do you guys need?
Come to the Adidas Galleria.
Come on, the whole store, everything Adidas. Wait, no other stores. Every store, Adidas.
Hey, I wanted to tell you. So the last time we were here, we talked about Brody and how Brody Stevens inspired both of us.
You got it.
You got it.
Yes.
So you kind of weren't doing stand up as much, but
Right.
then you're like, I need to step it up, and boom, and so what's going on? You were going to tell me. Like,
So
you've
a
been-
month ago, I was here at Flappers, and I did a show, the We Talk Funny show, which is like
Oh, yeah.
voice actors doing comedy. And they gave me like 15 to 20. And I had a set list. I had written some notes down. And I got to none of it.
Wow.
I mean, none of it. I did 20 minutes talking to the crowd, stories that just occurred to me in the moment. It was a revelation, man. Something changed in that show for me, and it's been that way ever since. It's just this thing of, you know what? I got nothing to lose. Nothing's going to happen. The only way that I write really is on stage.
Yeah.
I heard Jeff Garlin talk on the Stern show about his writing process, and it was the same. And I went, okay, so people do this. That is okay to do that.
It's totally okay to do that.
Do it however you want.
That's one of the ways I do it, and I record myself, and then I go back and I listen, either in the car or walking, or if I'm bored or something, rather than screwing around on social media, I'm like, let me listen to a set. But another good way to do it though is to literally like listen. Like I like to go to a coffee shop, and it's like you're in your own audience, and you jot down little notes on things you say. That's the important part, because it's important to record it, and it's important to listen to the playback, because sometimes I would be backed up and have like 9 shows and I never listen to any of them.
Right.
So it's not good. But
well, that's what thankfully I recorded every show I did with Craig Ferguson when I was on tour.
Wow.
So I have all of those.
Oh, it's great.
And then I've recorded all my stand-up, every set that I've done. But these last 2, and I did one last night at Alex's bar in Long Beach, there were maybe 10 people there.
Yeah.
But you could feel again, it was, I was remembering Brody Stevens.
Yeah.
And this is a guy that would go on, he could go on with 2 people in the audience and just have that place energized and ready. You could bring up 4 more comics after him at 3 a.m. and he would still, but I remembered that, and I thought, okay, remember Brody, remember the way he did it. And also Gary Gulman.
He's great to follow on Twitter, right?
Great tips.
Gary Gulman tips.
Gary Gulman tips.
If you guys are a comedian and you want to, or even if you're not a comedian, follow Gary Gulman on Twitter.
Gary is so good. These are a revelation, these tips. I mean, it's all stuff that we all kind of know. Some of it we don't know.
Yeah.
You don't have to use all of it. Use what you want, whatever you want to do. But I've been one of the things he wrote recently was something, I'm paraphrasing, about don't be afraid to be weird and go for it. He's like, that audience for that type of material will find you.
Yeah.
And I went, you know what? That's what it is. I gave up. I didn't give up, but I stopped with the preacher and everything because I got burned out for a while. And then I just thought, you know what? No, I'm going to go for it. So last night I just went for it, and it was really fun.
That's cool.
But I think you get to a place when you're more comfortable.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how many years I've actually been doing this. Again,
it's 10,000 hours, so if you just, the closer you get, maybe you have done it, but if you haven't, it's just the closer you do it, that 10,000 hours, you're just going to get.
Right.
My buddy saw me recently. Actually, it's great because he books the Laugh Factory. It's our buddy too, Jay Davis.
Jay Davis. Oh man, great. Yeah, I love you guys. Are fucking what? I love Jay Davis.
He did the podcast.
That character he did was amazing.
Yeah, he did the. Oh, you saw the video
Was that
on
his
YouTube?
place?
Yeah, that's at his place. He's got a stripper pole. Guys, go to YouTube. Look at Darren Carter channel. You'll see Jay Davis with the stripper
That
pole.
makes
It's hilarious.
so much sense to me.
It's great.
Jay is a great guy, and he should have a stripper.
One of the things he told me recently is he's like, you got so much confidence up there, and I think what that confidence is let me undo this cord real quick.
Darren Carter.
That's
is
right.
Undoing.
I think what it is, it's like you
chords.
sound like Morgan Freeman right there.
I do, yes.
Oh, I love your Morgan Freeman.
I'm doing it right now, man.
Can you do me a favor, please? You want some more coffee? I'd like some more coffee. Could you mind? But I can't reach it.
Oh, yes, of course.
You could do it.
I would love to.
Oh, wow. Morgan Freeman pouring
Morgan
coffee.
Freeman is going to pour some coffee. I'm walking over to where the coffee pot is, and it's resting on 4 different coasters that Darren has put next to each other
Yes.
to try to buffer the metal.
This is cool. Dude, only because listen to that. It sounds like you're taking a leak.
Pissing in your cup.
Morgan Freeman. Pouring coffee. Okay, that's good.
And it's black.
Dude, I trust you. That's good, because most people I would not trust with a coffee pot over this podcast equipment, but
Well,
you became
I'm
Morgan.
Morgan Freeman, and I am a professional broadcaster.
Exactly.
So you know that I
Thank
have
you.
poured a lot of coffee in my day.
May we do a toast?
Here is to the Pocket Party Podcast. Been on the air for 50 years.
That's right. Before there was a podcast.
Jay
But-
Davis was doing this character though. Was that what he was doing a bit?
Yeah, he's doing a thing for a movie, and he's playing a strip club manager of a strip club. So so for
Okay.
the video, he was wearing his yellow sunglasses and like the leopard skin, and he basically was breaking it down how he felt like he used to be a beta male, and now he's trying to be an alpha male, and
He's really?
and I think him really, yeah, because he used to have. Not a girlfriend, but a friend girl.
Yeah.
Where she would like, can you walk my dog? And he would stop whatever he's doing and go walk her dog.
No problem.
Can we go have sushi? Yes, let's go have sushi.
got
And then he'd be, can you help me move? Yes, I'll help you move. And he's kind of hyping himself up, saying like, don't be like that. Don't be that guy. I was that guy, and I'm not going to
Oh
be
yeah,
that
he was
guy.
giving the tips.
Yeah. So,
Jay's a sweetheart.
but one of the things Jay told me was, he goes, you know, you have so much, and I think it's more than the 10,000 hours that I've been doing this, but it's the confidence to have like some silence, you know, like the pausing. Because I
That's
used
it.
to get nervous with like they're not laughing.
Fill the
but
gaps.
It doesn't
Fill the
matter.
gaps with sound.
And it doesn't matter because I know it's gonna be okay. You know, that's part that just comes with
That's a big one,
experience,
Dude. The
you know?
silence is a big one. I think that is probably one of the best things I've heard about
Yeah.
stand-up right there.
I used to have. I remember one of the things, especially when I first the first 2 or 3 years, the more experienced with comedians. I remember they'd say this to me like, "You're so fast. You got to slow down. You're too fast." And I thought they meant like quick-witted, like Robin Williams. Like, oh, I'm so fast. Oh, I'm so quick. I'm so
Oh,
fast.
look at me. Oh.
Yeah, but it wasn't that. It was I was talking too
Darren,
fast.
you're so fast. You're so quick. You leave out a couple jokes.
Yeah.
Save some jokes for next time. Darren, you're such a genius. You're too quick up there.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
No,
I'm too
I mean,
fast.
slow the fuck down. You can't hear yourself.
Yeah, you inhale, and then you
Nobody
for
knows.
10 minutes.
Yeah,
and
right.
you, good night, everybody.
Take care, guys. You know, that's true.
Yeah.
I think, and again, this is something Brody said to me that stayed with me as well. He said, look, all your live streaming stuff, he says, to me, that counts. He says, because you're performing in front of an audience.
Oh, he's
And-
right.
And I said, you
Yeah.
know what, dude? I never thought of it like that. Because all the stories I tell on stage came out of all the live streams I did telling those stories. Now, I felt more comfortable in live stream
Yeah.
because I couldn't see the audience. So in my mind, now I say, just take the same attitude that you had online and do it up on stage.
Yeah.
And my God, it works.
That's cool.
Because you're just having fun. I get up there and just start having fun.
That's great.
I don't know where it's going to go. I got a couple of things that I can always go to if it's getting rough. We
Yeah.
all have a bag of tricks. But I like the danger of
not.
maybe I'll
yeah.
talk about this.
Yeah. I did that last night. And I'll ask you this. Somebody was wearing overalls. I did like this overall riff.
Yeah.
But, have you ever worn overalls?
No.
No.
No. Oh, man, as a kid, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, because you have or you haven't?
I have, yeah, as a kid.
See, I wore them in 6th grade, and like it was like this girl had, and I was like, and I just did this riff about like overalls. Like I remember like. For whatever reason, it was kind of popular, like in 6th grade.
Yeah.
So I bought. I remember wearing the overalls, and I remember the thing that occurred to me is when you reach up, you kind of like goose yourself.
Yeah.
It's like, it's
Yeah,
like
it goes up.
yeah. So then what you
Right.
do is you just do the one. You know what I mean? Then you just if you ever see somebody with like the strap, they just have an overall over one shoulder.
Yeah, right.
And I think what they do is they reach up with the that way they can like reach up without goosing
The arm
themselves.
without the strap.
Yeah, they're like
No
"Eh."
goose.
But then sometimes you'll see someone with both the straps down because they're like, well, that didn't work. So then I have to like,
Yeah.
you know. But it just seeing that girl with the overalls
But
just
then
brought
that's
back.
just, now you have that. You recorded it.
Yeah,
Now you
recorded
can
it. Then I'll
build on it.
I'll build on it and talk about how like
Do you wear pants under overalls?
I didn't.
See, I didn't either.
I didn't either. Yeah.
But you wear a shirt.
Yeah, I'd wear a shirt.
So
And
it's
then
kind of a weird piece of clothing.
Overalls are
man.
weird, right? It's like, and then they're kind of like cargo pants, but for your whole body.
Yeah, so,
right?
right. But you have a shirt on, and then you could arguably be walking around. You could be free balling it.
Yeah, you could, right? Like that's.
But then if you goose yourself, you might get a little something there on the.
Yeah.
I see the thing. I think about how a lot of people walk around that probably haven't wiped well.
Yeah.
I know there's got to
Yeah.
be a lot of people that haven't taken care of themselves. And then
Yeah.
at clubs or bars, I think some of these people pick someone up and they're going to go home. And
Yeah.
there's a lot of
I know.
like the bird scooters. I think about how
yeah.
much shit and feces is on the handles.
Oh, I don't think-
Everyone's really. See,
Yeah.
now you'll be thinking
Oh,
about
I do
it.
think about. I've never ridden a bird scooter.
I won't even get near it.
Have you paid?
People,
to,
no, I
Yeah.
would never. I'm above that. I'm just kidding. No, but you remember your parents would tell you,
Yeah.
don't leave your bike in the driveway.
Right. That, you know what?
It's all over town.
I remember people were outraged over those scooters, and I didn't get it because it was all about it was in Santa Monica.
Yeah, it was way down
And I'm
there,
like, why are
right.
they doing that? And then, but then once they came to Burbank, and I'm like, you're right.
Now you get it.
Yeah, it's one thing if you, I guess, like you lean it up against like a bus stop or something
That's
that's
fine.
like out of the way, but
people discard it, like-
they don't. They throw it on. They tilt it on the side. They
Right.
block the sidewalk.
Okay, I've arrived at my destination. Fuck
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
All right.
Exactly. I'm like, that's so rude, man.
Hey, Omar, are you going to set your bike against the wall? Nah, I'm done with it.
Yeah, it's like I literally like the other day I walked and I just picked it up and I moved it, and I was hoping almost someone would come out and be like, "Don't touch that." Well, don't leave it in the sidewalk. You know,
It's like if you did a barrel roll, if your Uber was driving by your destination and the driver was like, "Okay, here's your stop," and you just opened the door and did a barrel roll out of the car and you just kept going. Or they have a new service where it's not a car rental. You don't buy a car. I think you go to a town and use the app to find a car that you want to use. It's just sitting somewhere. But then when
Oh.
you're done with it,
you just leave it there.
do you just get out of it and start
No, yeah,
like
yeah,
you
yeah.
just discard it. All this discarding
Man,
thing.
This is
bro.
good. Like if you guys so the previous episode that I just put up today, but by the time they hear this, it'll be the previous episode.
Or it could be one from 5 years
that's
ago.
right. But it's Lou Santini, and he's an author. He's written 4 books.
Lou Santini, how you
and
doing?
yeah, and one of them is called like Amateur Nation or something, and he has this whole thing about basically his pet peeves and his like gripes and things that are like amateur behavior, and
Yeah.
and that's some of it is like when they're right. That would be stuff like that. This is great. So if they like that episode, they're going to like this episode.
Right,
Because
yeah.
these are the things that we just know, like, okay, common sense. Don't do this. Don't just block sidewalks.
Although
and-
it's like we're we're two older aging
Right,
white men
yes.
who are angry
Get
now.
off my lawn.
It feels like that.
Yeah.
But this is a bit extreme. All the scooters is a bit
Yeah.
extreme. It's
Yeah.
getting out of hand. I see them everywhere now. Like they're on my street.
Right.
They're just lying there.
Really?
People are like, I'm done with it, man.
What about the grocery carts? Do you like? What about when those are all? Do you get a lot of those random grocery store?
I
carts?
don't in my area, but if you do,
Yeah.
then you know that things are
Yeah.
starting to go the other way.
Oh.
The gentrification is over, man.
Yeah.
Because if you see shopping carts, those were kind of fun though when you were a kid. You'd jump in the cart.
But if you,
your
I don't.
buddy
Ever,
would
I don't
push you
ever remember
around.
being a kid seeing grocery carts like in our neighborhood.
No, you'd see it in like
in
an
the-
open grass field.
Yeah, you'd see it near the grocery store.
Right.
Like maybe somebody, you know what I mean? There might be a field that's near the grocery store. Like
I never knew as a kid though what that meant. I was just like, oh, somehow this cart got away from the other carts.
yeah.
No, man, somebody used that. And it's a good way to get your shit around town. I mean, I'm thinking about it, but
I remember calling a number like maybe 10 years ago. There's a grocery cart like out of no, and the guy goes, "Thank you." They answered the phone and said,
There's
"Thank
somebody
you."
there
and there's a
that-
truck, and they would drive around and pick up grocery carts.
thank you
and-
very much, young man.
Yeah.
We appreciate your service.
I used to call the number when I would see graffiti. You know?
Oh my God.
Yeah, there's a number you could call. Like if you see graffiti,
There's
call this
graffiti
number.
down the street, and if you guys could scrub that up.
Yeah.
There was a guy in the corner of my street who kept
Jay Davis does that, by the way.
Does he really?
Because he lives in Burbank also. He's like, he goes, we got to call the number because there's a local park that we do pull-ups at and
Right.
dips and stuff. And somebody goes, it looks like somebody just ran across the lawn in their car and messed the dip bars. I'm calling the... So he called and then...
I'm gonna call the number.
And he did call.
He called it.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, guys? We got a problem. Somebody, I don't know. I gotta go, man. I gotta go. Jay Davis, I gotta go.
I love Jay Davis, man.
Hey, by the way, you ran into another one of our guests, Dr. Dean Larrett. Guys, if you
Dr.
listen to Dr.
Dean.
Dean, you ran into him, huh? How was
Yeah,
that?
he was at the We Talk Funny stand-up show.
Oh.
The one that I was doing. I saw him hanging around.
And you recognized
I
him.
recognized him, so I went up to him. And he was like, Josh, it's great. I'm glad I got to tell you the story about Bruce Springsteen. So, I know this guy that knows Bruce, and I'm sitting there, and he's like, look, I got to leave, but, you can stick around with Bruce. And I'm like, I'm not going to stick around with Bruce, so I'm sitting there with Bruce, and he says, how you doing? And I'm like, look, John, I got to tell you, this is the best part, though. Let me tell you this. No, I haven't told you the best part. So then, then Bruce and I are sitting there for 2 hours, and I'm getting big laughs, and hold on, this is the best part. But here's what happens though. This guy, Dr. Dean's the best, man.
He's the best. He loves to talk.
What a storyteller.
He does.
He told me an epic story about Bruce Springsteen.
He really is a good storyteller. I told him to go start your own podcast, and he did. Now listen, he's got to put it out more often because he puts. I go, when's the last time you put one out? Hey, baby boy, it's been 13 days. I'll put one out. I'm like, dude, you got to put them out.
So listen. So I want to do something nice for my mom. So I'm like, maybe we get tickets for Bruce. So anyway, so we're sitting there. and we got to wear the little sticker because we're in a VIP area. Right. So anyway, the whole place clears out, and I'm like, I don't know what we're doing. This guy comes down. He's like, you got to come with us. I'm like, I don't know what we're doing. The next thing I know. So this is the best part, though. This is the best part. So then, what a character, man. Yeah. And I said to him that I had seen some stand up of his on YouTube, a show he had done at like Marie Callender's in the Valley years ago.
Yeah.
And he was
then what did he do after that?
He went, oh, he brightened. He was like, oh, you saw that? It's funny because I was trying to get that over to Jay Leno, and it's a funny story. But here's the best part. Let me tell you. And
Jay Leno, Whole Foods,
what a story.
Cold water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, he's a funny guy, man.
We meet so many characters in LA, huh? People that came out here to do something, and then like Dean came out here to be a comedian and then an actor, and he did that, and then he's like, maybe I should learn how to be a chiropractor.
That's the best part of his story.
Right.
So then, I'm straightening this guy's back, and anyway, Brad Pitt walks in, and I'm like, this is the best part though. This is so we see what happens though. Wait to hear what happens. So Brad Pitt, so I'm sitting there cracking this guy, and I go, just Brad Pitt, so the guy says, hey, you're gonna straighten my, and I go, yeah, but so I gotta go. This is the best part though. So
no two ways about it.
So he's there, and then my buddy John Mariano is there.
Yeah. And at this point, you're trying to go home.
Right.
You're like, I gotta get out of here, guys.
Love these guys.
But hold on, here's the best part.
John Mariano, I think these guys are both from New York.
Yeah.
Is Dean from New
I know
York?
he's from Queens.
They're both from Queens.
Yeah.
So my buddy John and Dean are like the same guy, except one is taller. It's like R2D2 C3PO. and it turns out they know each other.
Wow.
So my buddy John was at the show, and he goes, oh, you know what? I think I know this guy. How you doing? Hey, wow, it's funny because we were neighbors in the Valley, and this is a funny story. So I was telling Josh a story about Jay Leno. I'm going to tell you the whole story. So here's the thing. Here's the best part, though. So I'm sitting there watching these two guys. Almost mirror images of one another. Two guys from Queens.
R2D2.
But it was beautiful because they were so overjoyed. Hey, like I said, listen, I don't know. And here's the thing. Brad Pitt comes in, and I'm trying to crack this guy's back, and his coccyx is out. Something wrong with, you know what I mean? So, it was the best thing, dude. And so it's me in this back room with these two guys, and I'm like, I'm just going to leave. I'm going to let them be. But he's a great guy, man. He's so funny.
He's a great guy.
Dr.
His
Dean.
podcast is called Bedtime Stories with Dr. Dean.
That's what it is.
Bedtime Stories. Yeah.
His photo.
Yeah.
He has a picture that accompanies that show. It's like it looks like he is in bed or on a couch.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's a little. It looks like he might be self-massaging.
Yes. I told him, I go, dude, but
that photo's great.
He's a guy that never did any social media, so I'm, you know how it is.
It's
like,
perfect, dude.
Hey, we're gonna show you how to do all this stuff, and
well, that's the thing. So, I asked Bruce if he could be on my podcast. So, here's the funny part of the story. So, then I am at Marie Callender's. I don't know. Jay Leno comes in. Anyway, so I don't know. No, he's a funny guy, man. I saw his some clips of his stand-up recently from here that I think he'd been
that's
posting
the thing.
more
He used
stuff.
to have the Marie Callender clips.
Yeah.
I go, dude, we got to get more. So he has modern clips done now. He's at clubs. He's starting to get in with the Ice House, and so I'm happy for the guy.
Funny stuff, man.
I'm happy for him, man.
He's one of those guys like Brody, who knows the Valley.
Yes.
I saw one of the funniest sets from Brody. He was opening for David Spade. And man, he just starts going in, where you from? Where are you from? Oh, Reseda. Yeah, sure. And then he'll just start saying landmarks. That was his thing. He knew the Valley like the back of his hand.
Mascots in high school.
Everything.
Darren Carter, Fresno.
Right.
Yeah. It's,
Well, no, but it's one of my favorite. He goes, I get it. I'm not Chris D'Elia. Great. You know, the hostility.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Genius, man. But his knowledge of the Valley makes me laugh harder than anything. It was something no one would know. He knew it all.
I know.
Oh, man.
You know what? The new thing that I'm listening to is an audio book, and it's called The Thunderbolt Kid. And if you guys listen, there's this app called, I think I've mentioned it before, it's called Libby, and you can get free library books on your phone.
Right.
And I like audiobooks, that way I can do other things. And this book is just, I don't know, there's something I really liked about it. Like I'm listening to it. It's about this guy, he's growing up in the 50s, and he really like takes every little meat off the bone and breaks it down, like what it was like growing up in Des Moines, Iowa in the 50s. And it took me back to places like things you didn't even, you know, I pretty much grew up in the same house my whole life as a kid. Were you like that as well?
Well, I just had this experience because I did go back to Cleveland, my hometown, last week.
Was Darnell there, or did you?
Darnell was everywhere. No, I actually went back to the old street that I grew up on in Cleveland, 117th and Florian. And there was a house next to mine where there was a brother named Rollo, and his friend would pull up on a motorcycle and always be like, "Hey, Rollo, hey, Rollo," and then Rollo would come up and, "Hey, what, man?" And I was there. It was a sunny day. This last week. It was a beautiful day out. The streets tree lined. There was no one around. Like, that neighborhood felt like it had been abandoned. All of a sudden, I hear the sound of the ice cream truck. This is last week. The ice cream truck that I remember as a kid is still making the rounds.
Wow.
I was suddenly transported to summer of 1984. I got it on video. I'll show you after. The video, the ice cream truck comes down the street. In the way I shot it, it looked like a movie. It looked like I was at the Universal lot.
Wow.
Friends of mine said, "Is this real?" I said, "Yeah."
And you lived in that house?
I lived in this house.
From what age to what age?
This was till I was like 11. This was like 78 to 85.
Yeah.
There was a woman out front, and she saw me walking down the street.
Yeah.
And she was out front of my old house, and she said, "Are you lost?" Because, it's a predominantly black neighborhood.
Yeah.
I said, "No, I used to live here." She was such a sweet woman. We talked for a little while about it, and I asked her how long she'd been living there. Only a couple years. And I said, "No, I lived here back in the 80s. She was like, "Oh, that was a long time ago." I said, "And the house looks exactly the same." Wow. I said, "How's the neighborhood?" She said, "Actually, it's coming around. The old Variety Theater, which was a legendary movie theater right there by the corner of my street, they just restored it. The marquee and the lights were on again.
Oh, that's cool.
So it felt like I was back in time.
So in the 80s, when you were growing up, it was open and available?
It was open, and then it shut down like right around 87, 88.
Oh, wow. So then when you go back there, because I'm sure you went back there in the 90s
Many
and
times,
stuff. And
just dead.
And it was closed.
Just dead and sitting there. And everyone thought, they're going to demolish that.
Yeah.
And somebody got together an organization to put it together. So while I was there, I had this revelation. I actually recorded it on my phone, a voice note, and I just said, "Remember this moment." I hear it. I played it back the other day, and I was sitting in my hotel going, "Just remember this moment. Remember Cleveland. Remember late night Cleveland radio, college radio. Remember that street. Remember these stories." Because you were talking about the guy that was telling stories from his life. And I said, "Tell these stories on stage, because there's so much funny here, and there's so much wonderful beauty in this story." And I said, "This is it." So these are the stories I'll be talking about. Growing up in that neighborhood. And I was there to see a friend of mine who has cancer. He's a good buddy of mine, and he's fighting it, and he seems to be doing all right. But I went back there to see him because I've known this guy since junior high.
Yeah.
So we drove around all the old haunts and looked at the old junior high and the old high school, and we went to the old mall, and I realized that. And I called into Cleveland State Radio, which was the college radio station that I used to call in high school and do my impressions, and it's still on the air. And I called into a late night show, and I did Morgan Freeman. And of course, these Cleveland guys were like, "Oh my God, that was Morgan Freeman." And I'm like,
Hello, I'm just here in my hotel, and just want to say you guys are doing a great job, and start talking about stuff.
but anyway,
That's awesome.
It was nostalgia,
Yeah.
but it was a recharge. It was
Yeah.
like, because this business, look,
Yeah.
man, it's weird.
Yeah.
It's brutal and weird, and this city's very intense. And everyone's go, 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 go. But it was nice to go back there and
Yeah. Did you see? Now I'm going to break it down really simple.
Yeah.
Did you? And that was lovely what you said. That was beautiful what you just said. Did you see any? And this sounds so silly to say this,
No.
but seriously though, did you see any like any trees where you're like, I remember that tree. That tree's still there.
Yeah.
Because there's that moment of, because I remember when I was a kid, there was there's this one big tree in the front yard, and I didn't really play around that tree a lot, but I did I remember many hours of like summertime, just like, go outside, and you'd sit on that front curb
Yeah.
and be in that shade of that tree, and I just remember that tree a lot. And I remember we had a tree in the backyard, and that tree I would climb, and I can still picture the branches, like how the one low branch would help me, like,
That's the one you could get up.
yep, and then
Yep.
you'd sit up there, and I think at one point we even had like a little makeshift tree house up there.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because like this book brought me back to that, where I'm
But
like,
it's still there.
like, who would think about a tree as a grown up? But it's like,
No, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Well, because as you change, I think for me, it's that weird thing of like my old street,
Yeah.
all those trees are still there.
wow,
And I thought, wow, I've gone off and done all these things.
yeah,
And had all these experiences and had these wonderful things come true. This little kid living in this house, we were living off of, welfare and food stamps. It was just me and my mom. It was a very poor neighborhood.
yeah,
This was a neighborhood. I mean, at that time, this was a neighborhood where, like, if you live here, you ain't going anywhere. Like, this is the buck stops here. Good luck.
yeah,
But seeing those trees and that house and everything be the same,
yeah,
it's like, wow, you went away, but it's still here. There's still things there that are still there
Yeah.
forever. Kiddie Park is a little amusement park for little kids around the corner. Still there. Same sign, fresh coat of paint on the rides. I was like, wow, my mom used to take me here.
yeah.
So that I think that stuff is important. I think now and again it's important to go back just to kind of reconnect.
I'm gonna do that because I haven't
know?
done that in a long time.
Where are
Like-
you from?
Like Fresno, which is
Right,
not that far. But
yeah, yeah.
that's the thing. Usually when I'm home, I go. I'm usually doing shows, or I'm at the. My wife grew up on a farm, so we'll hang out at the farm, which
An
is
Armenian farm?
like kind of, yeah. It's like the scarecrow wears a lot of cologne and Adidas.
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah. Hey, bro, get away from my
Hey.
corn, bro.
If I only had a brain,
Go scarecrows, go,
bro.
bro, scarecrows, bro. Yeah.
Hey, bro, I can get you a heart discount. My cousin, call him.
Yeah, they have an Armenian farm. They're
Oh, that's cool, man.
One of the jokes I do on stage, I go, my wife's Armenian. She grew up on a farm. I call her my little Farmenian.
Darren Carter, he's always working.
That's right.
Darren Carter is a young man from Fresno, and he's here to do some comedy for us. Here's Darren Carter, the party star. Can you imagine, man?
Yeah, but yeah, I remember like
So you haven't gone up there in a while though, just to go up there.
yeah, I haven't gone up there just to go up there and just park the car, like, because I've thought about that, where you just park the car, nobody
Yes.
knows you're there,
Yes.
and you just maybe like retrace those steps of what it was like to go from
That's what you
the
gotta
house
do.
you grew up in to the elementary school.
Yes.
That kind of thing. Like
you have to
'cause
do that.
those are the early memories. And there's this one apartment building I drive by, because there was maybe like around Christmas. I think I drove not by my old house, but drove by the neighborhood.
Right.
And I remember I saw that apartment building that had these windows, these weird windows. It was like and I remember I could totally picture like a Mork and Mindy poster in that one window, and I'm like,
Yes.
that's what the poster was. And all the kids, when we'd walk by the poster, it looked like Mork was following us with his eyes.
Right.
Like, it was creepy, It was good though. It was like,
There, look at that. Yeah, there you go. This is just showing him some footage of this. Let me see if I can. Here you go. Here you
beautiful.
go.
These are like
This
nice.
is-
These
this
are like
is
2-story houses, huh?
This is Rolo's house right here. And then this is a beautiful shot of me just walking down the sidewalk. Yeah, these are all built, early 1900s. But it looks like a
That's
movie
really
set.
cool. Yeah.
So I want to shoot. I'm going back there to shoot a short film.
Yeah. Now, when you walk on a street like that, you felt like, hey, I grew up here. I can, it's no big deal to walk down the street. Or did you part of you feel like that lady? She goes, hey, you look like you're lost.
Right.
Did you feel like
no,
maybe...
I didn't feel like I was in danger or anything.
Yeah.
I mean, it felt the same.
Wow.
It felt like I was, almost going to see my old childhood friends
That's
around
cool.
the corner. There he is, kick his ass, and have those old.
And now he's got a
memories.
gray goatee. No.
Kill him, he's old. He's an old man. But it was, I remember like there was a drugstore, convenience store called Lawson's. Now it's Dairy Mart. It's the same place.
Wow.
The counter's in the same spot. I used to get my Bazooka Joe bubblegum there and my crack magazines. I was never a mad guy. I always got cracked.
Really?
Yeah, man.
Why?
I don't know that. I gravitated toward it. Mad was always like forbidden. Mad was like, ooh, that's adult.
See, I like Mad Mag. I like both, but
Yeah.
I was more of a Mad Magazine guy.
Oh, it was huge.
Like Alfred E. Newman, Spy
Yeah.
versus Spy.
Well, see, I didn't know as a kid that
Yeah.
cracked was a ripoff of Mad.
Yeah.
Because it's you're mad or you're cracked.
Right.
And then Alfred E. Newman, cracked guy was Sylvester P. Smythe. So it was
That's
like,
hilarious. I don't even know that.
and I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And I was like, I like cracked, but I really liked it because John Severin,
Yeah.
who I think passed away a few years ago, was the artist. There's so many great artists.
Yeah.
But he would draw these women with like giant torpedo-shaped breasts.
Yeah.
And it was like,
Oh, this is something. This gives me a little tickle.
Dude, they're talking about this in the book that I'm listening to.
Yeah.
He's talking about, he breaks down that. Like he talked about the Kitty Corral, where it was like this comic book thing. And he said how comics, I mean, this guy is a really good author because he breaks down, like, you could tell he does this research where he's like, in 1956, there was, or whatever, 1958, there was an explosion of, or 1956, I think it was, an explosion of comic books.
Yeah.
Like, and he describes how many comic books there were. There was so many comic books.
Right.
And then television came out, and then, I don't know if it's color TV or just TV period, but whatever. But he says what it is.
TV was like in the 40s, and then color TV.
That must have been what it was,
And,
right?
and the comics code came around because they had all these EC comics and all the old horror vault, did really creepy shit. It was like adult oriented.
He said like 2 years when, like basically the amount of comic books it dropped in 2 years. It was like whatever the number was. I don't remember the number, but it was like, and it started like not drying up, but because people were like, why would I read about Superman when I can just watch it on television?
Right.
Why would I?
Oh, yeah.
There was that going on. And then
Right.
also, like he said, he names the psychologist. Some guy did this study that was like, comic books are bad for teenage boys with their zits, and it's making them, because the boys would be interviewed and they'd be like, they'd be like what you said. I like the girls with the big
I like
bosoms.
to see that stuff. And
Yeah.
And they're really hot.
Yeah.
But they're not real.
So then it was like they were like rock and roll is bad for
Yeah, it's
teenagers, and
always
rock and music
Yeah.
and comic books and
the same thing.
Yeah. So then he said then they'd go back to the Kitty Corral, and then the comic books became like almost like more like Disney, and like
Yeah.
and that's the part that I'm at right now where it's not really. It was funny too because
interesting.
he's exploring like his childhood. Like he's like, I remember like, and he's talking about like the Lone Ranger, which is weird because he's like, there'd be parts where there'd be like wooden sidewalks and like his horse, but then the cops would come in a car and be like, you gotta watch out, we're the FBI. There's this bad guy on the loose.
Right.
So it's like, well, what is it?
It's like a mishmash
It's
of-
like automobiles, but yet it's a Western. Like,
Well, here's this, and that reminds me of something. This project I've been working on is along the lines of what you're talking about because thinking about retro technology. Everything now is digital, and the best picture, 4K, 8K.
Yeah.
You have to see inside the pores of the actors, and I'm like, why does it have to look so? Yeah. So I made these horror movies when I was in junior high. I made a trilogy of really shitty horror movies. My mom was the camera person, and I was very serious about it. It was about these scary face puppets that came to life and were possessed by demons. This was before Chucky came out. It was a precursor to Chucky, bro. And I made 3 of them.
yeah.
And I was digitizing them. I was putting them into my computer to preserve them. And these were on VHS tape.
Sounds like you're pitching a pilot.
I know.
And then they
So-
became
and then what
alive and
happened
took over
was-
my computer.
But then what I did was I thought, I've always wanted to do special editions of these movies, like a George Lucas special edition. There's certain shots and things, inserts and close-ups and special effects that obviously I couldn't do in 1988. And I thought, what if I added these scenes. However, I don't want to shoot it digitally and make it look like VHS. I'm going to find the camera, the exact camera that I used to shoot this, and I'm going to shoot it for real on VHS. And I tracked down on eBay the exact model of the camera because it was my grandfather's camera, and I got to borrow it on the weekend. Here's my camera, damn it. Don't drop it, you son of a bitch. I was in World War II. I'm a real man. You're off making these pussy movies, these little sad little horror films with your mother. You're ashamed of the whole family. No, he never said anything.
This is 88, 1988?
This is 1988, 87.
Those cameras are probably kind of big, too, back then, huh?
Huge.
Do you remember the kind of camera it was?
No, yeah, I can tell you right now. GE 99806. This was
Canon
1987, GE.
Yeah. Oh, GE.
GE.
Oh, yeah, there it is, GE.
GE.
Wow. And what went in there?
VHS.
Wow, an actual big VHS tape
Just
would
a
go in there
regular
and record?
VHS tape,
Wow.
yeah. So I found it in mint condition.
Wow.
It was a Sears floor model that had only been used once, and some guy had it in storage.
Wow.
I got it for nothing, took it to this place, got it cleaned, and I started working on this project.
How do you get it from, okay, let's say you film something.
Yeah.
On it. You know what question's coming up,
Yeah.
right? How do you get it off the camera and into a modern day MacBook
I have
computer?
a VCR,
Okay.
and it connects to this box that you use
Oh.
that you can connect to your
Oh,
computer.
like a converter type thing.
The converter,
Or something.
that's it.
Wow.
So now, here's the cool thing.
Yeah.
I was recording around my house with this VHS camera. In today, 2019, I'm recording my living room, and then I play it back, and it looks like it's from 30 years ago because the technology is so crappy.
Yeah, like the colors and everything.
It's
just
all
kinda-
muted and
yeah.
shitty looking, but it cuts into what I shot 30 years ago perfectly.
Wow.
Like a shot of my hand setting a puppet down, or lighting a puppet on fire, or I did some green screen with the puppets floating in the air.
Nowadays.
Yeah,
You didn't have
nowadays.
green screen.
Right. But I'm trying to make it
Are you
match.
on camera back then?
Oh, yeah.
So you see yourself as a 30 years younger.
Yes. Right.
Yeah.
And then I did this crazy thing where I came up with a
Whoa.
time travel storyline.
That's cool.
Because there's a scene in one of the movies where
you could play your own dad.
that's
this
what I
thing.
mean. I'm playing myself talking to myself because there's
Wow.
a scene where 30 years ago I actually look at the camera like I'm talking to some unseen force.
Wow.
And I was like, I'm going to shoot myself from the other angle now, saying like, Josh, it's me from 30 years in the future. The demon's going to get whatever the stupid
yeah.
horror movie plot.
That's cool.
It's one of the most exciting things I've been working on recently, just for fun.
Yeah.
And it makes me so happy, man.
That's cool.
So it all ties into this, what we're talking about.
yeah, because then you don't want to get caught up into the well. What you're gonna do is you're gonna do this, and you're gonna pitch it, and then it's like, oh, then now it's not.
Yeah,
fun
right,
as
right,
anymore.
exactly.
Let me just
None
do
of that
this, let me
matters.
just have fun with it.
A friend of mine is like, well, why are you doing it? And
You know
I
what's
go,
interesting,
for me.
and I was thinking, I had this thought about with stand up. We have to keep it moving. You got to be like, oh, this happened, that happened, ba 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 ba. But I was thinking with this book, that's why he's able to take the meat off the bone and really explore. It's almost like you can go down this alley of like the candy was like this when I was. But I mean, that sounds like a boring speech. But he'd be like, I remember,
describing.
He'd be like, the candies were like, and he would go down and talk about the different candies,
Yeah.
and then his grandma would describe licorice this way, and then he would say there was another kind of candy he didn't like, and then he would talk about going to the movies, and then there's a whole, you know what I mean? Then you go down that road of what the movies were
Right.
like, and then like it's the comic book store, and then the little pranks he would do back then. It's so funny.
Yeah.
One of the pranks he did, I'm like, gosh, I used to do that, and I thought I was the only one that did it, and I feel bad that I did it, but he did it too, and it's like it was so stupid. I remember a couple times I would go into like these bathroom stalls and lock the door and then crawl underneath, and then that way the stalls
right,
locked.
right.
Like a brat. Why would I do that? I don't know why I did
everyone,
that.
Yeah,
Did you do that too?
Yeah, yeah.
Why did we do that?
Well, I had the older
Yeah.
kids would tell me to do things
Yeah.
on my street.
Yeah.
So the older kids were always like, they got me to steal a candy once from Lawson's.
Ooh.
One piece of candy. And I thought that I had like committed a murder.
Yes.
You know, as soon as I got home, I confessed.
I mean, I remember like I
cried.
remember I was in sixth grade and I did all these. I kind of like had a. That's the word, not being born again, but sort of like that thing where I'm like, I'm done sinning. I'm done doing these stupid
Yeah,
things.
right,
like,
right.
just dumb stuff. Like, I was like, I'm never going to do this bad thing anymore. And,
Right.
yeah.
I would make bets with God. I'd always
Oh,
be
yeah?
like,
Yeah, that's cool.
I'd be like, okay, God, I'd
Yeah.
jerk off, and then I'd be like, all right, I will never jerk off again. please just give me a life that is, where I'm rich. And so like making bets with God. And then I jerk off again. I go, okay. I won't do it. Okay, I'm sorry about that. Please don't let me die in a horrible accident. Like, I just want to die in my sleep. So however I go, just make it be in my sleep. I won't jerk off ever again. And then I jerk off again and be like, okay, I'm so sorry, God. Like, it was like a real sin. I grew up Catholic, so it was like a big deal.
I see. I grew up Baptist. Yeah.
Oh, no. It was like, you can't be. Yeah. It's like a total sin.
But I just remember like those kind of things. And that's what's great about, I guess, writing, or when people they're really good with their words and they can express these stories and take you right back. Which, I hope the guys listening to this podcast, maybe this is doing it for you, where you're
I
like.
think there's a balance. I think that's what I'm attempting to do with stand-up, but I almost feel like there may be another avenue for me.
Did you ever have
form storytelling?
Did you ever have a neighborhood bully?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The look on your face. You pictured more than one.
Oh, I did.
There was this guy in our neighborhood. His name was Theodore, and he was 18 years old. And he was like, so when we were all like, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I mean, he was much older than us.
You were way younger than
He was a juvenile delinquent. He was still, I don't even know what, he was like, he's an 18-year-old. Yeah. And he would walk by and just like look at us and like, and then he would like kick this fence of this one guy. Like, he would kick the fence and like bang on his like window. And that guy was even older than him.
Right.
And it would scare him, And then, yeah.
They were creepy. I remember.
I forgot all about that guy.
Orlando. His name was Orlando Penta.
Wow.
What's going on, man? And in home ec, we had to make these sweaters. We had to use the Singer sewing machine.
Yeah.
Make these sweaters.
Yeah.
And Orlando, his little stoolie, he had like a sidekick. He would tell. He was like a mafia guy. This was like 7th grade, and he'd be like, "Hey, go get that guy's sweater. Go get his sweater." And this guy came over and grabbed my sweater and hawked. He put it on the floor and hawked the biggest loogie into it. And then he ground it in with his foot, his shoe, and then gave it back to me. And I remember I was so embarrassed and ashamed because I couldn't stand up to these guys. They would have killed me. I took the sweater home and hid it under my dresser, and it was there for like a year. And then my mom found it, and she was like, "What's this?" And I was like, "That's a sweater I made. And this kid hawked a loogie in it. Orlando Panta."
Gross.
Orlando Panta. Yeah. And I also got beat up on my street when I was really young by a Puerto Rican girl.
Oh yeah, there'd be girls. I know.
Big girl.
I remember
fights,
there were some girl bullies, and then one time I fought back when I was 8, and then I got in trouble. And that's when my dad was like, "Never hit a girl," and I was like, "She wasn't acting like a girl."
It was so confusing.
Yeah, it was confusing, right? Because the girls were bigger than us.
She was a big girl. Yeah, and I took a swing at her. It was the first time I ever tried to stand up to somebody. Yeah, it was a girl. And I was hyperventilating. I was crying so hard. Like, I took a swing and then just ran the other way as hard as fast as I could. And I was like, and the girl, and I stole a bazooka, Joe. Oh my God! I confessed everything, man.
I remember. Did you ever have these calendars that had like monkeys on them, dressed like people? Speaking of overalls, like they'd have little monkeys, and they'd be like have overalls, and there'd be like some weird zany caption,
like real monkeys.
Yeah,
right.
Like back in the 70s and 80s, there was like BJ and the Bear and all these little, Clint Eastwood had those movies. So we had these calendars, and it was like funny business or whatever.
Right.
And
Going bananas.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
And so there's there would be one for each one of the month. The Christmas monkey. Blah, blah, blah,
yeah.
And so I remember what we did is we cut off the calendar part and just had the picture, and we stapled it together, and we would go like door to door and try to sell that to people. And like, hey, would you like to buy a monkey poster?
Oh, yeah, certainly, young man.
Yeah, and some people were nice, and then remember this one? She goes, "That looks like you just cut off the top of a calendar."
No, this is our original calendar.
Exactly.
We had an amusement park. We threw an amusement park, the Josh, Michael, and Gary amusement park. Michael and Gary were these weird brothers that lived across the street. And
you guys made your own amusement park?
Yeah, we made our own.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, Michael had some kind of Tourette's thing or something, so he would rock back and forth and go, hey, and then his brother Gary was very, very tall, and he looked like a very super thin Freddie Mercury and had like 80s green 80s shorty shorts. So he may have played for the other team. We didn't really know what any of that meant in the 80s.
Yeah.
So he was like, hi. That's how he talked, hi. And then, so these are the two guys that I'm going to go into business with. These are my business partners. Hi. And the Josh Michael Gary, the JMG amusement park. And one of the rides was, I loved inner tube and water rides. So I took an inner tube that I had, tied it with a piece of rope to a radio flyer wagon, and my driveway
cool.
was kind of bumpy.
Yeah.
So what I would do is you'd sit on the radio flyer and the inner tube, and I'd try to pull you as hard as I could down my driveway, and then with the other hand just spray you with the hose.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's supposed to be like a whitewater rafting ride.
Yeah.
Well, we also had a tent set up, and my mom was upstairs making hot dogs for the neighborhood kids. We charged like 50 cents. I think I made $3, so it was pretty exciting. But I went up and found my dad had a bunch of Penthouse magazines stacked up in the garage. So I took a couple of them and put them in the tent. I was a real businessman. For 25 cents more, you could go in the tent and look at my dad's magazines.
Oh.
And then at some point, no one could find Michael. No one knew where Michael went. And then from the tent, you heard, and you opened the tent, and Michael had his pants down around his ankles and was going to work.
Oh,
and needless to say, our amusement park was shut down. My mom came and shut down. But that's a story that I have told on stage and would love to, flesh out and tell.
Yeah.
Because I think it's really funny. Like, I could see in a special having that be a big chunk of the special.
Cool. Because it's like
that's a funny
it's
story.
like you guys took the lemonade stand to the next level. Like how can we do this? That's great.
The roller coaster was a plastic sled, toboggan style sled down my front steps.
Wow.
In the middle of the summer. People hitting their heads on the concrete.
We tried making a zip line, and from one tree to the other tree. But it was maybe like 20 feet across, and it's harder than it looks.
The rope,
I mean,
you can't keep it tight.
Yeah, couldn't keep it tight. It was
I did that for Halloween. They had one of these floating ghosts, and it was like, just set the wire from one tree to another, and then the thing would always droop in the middle. So this ghost would just start floating, and then would just go down to the ground and sit there, and it never works, man.
I know you're a big horror guy.
I am.
We're going to wrap this podcast up.
Wrap it up, bro.
But let us know. Do you have any, is there any like classic movies that you'd really recommend? Like anything from like the 60s, the 70s, like a horror? That's not too scary. That's like, because I'm not really big into the suspense and the gore that's out now. I like the classic,
I would go back and revisit the Universal monster movies.
Oh, okay.
And here's something. I'm very lucky to have, worked on a number of really cool projects, and it's afforded me a lot of these things. And my fan base, has very generously, they've sent me things through my Amazon wish list. I don't have this list posted anywhere. Yeah. They found it, and then now and again people send me things, which is really nice. Someone sent me recently the Creature from the Black Lagoon box set. There were 3 Creature movies made back in the day. The first 2 were in 3D. Not a lot of people know that the original Creature from the Black Lagoon was in 3D. And I have a 3D TV, and I watched it, and it's just glorious. Like, it's a great film. Bride of Frankenstein, all the classics, The Wolfman. I would say, if you can, revisit some of this 3D stuff from the early days.
That'd
There's
be
a movie
cool.
called The Bubble, which is a weird rarity. It's an odd little film shot in 3D.
When I was growing up, on Saturday afternoons, they had this thing called Creature Feature.
Yeah.
And they'd show a lot of those kind of movies where they're like...
Was that Stanley?
I don't know what it was.
Yeah,
it was like...
It was a big show.
It was Channel 26 KMPH Creature Feature. And it'd be like these classic kind of movies that were scary, but not scary.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, like... I don't know what they were called, like The Blob or whatever, like vampires.
The Blob's another one.
Vincent Price type
Gargoyles.
stuff. Those are, exactly.
House on Haunted Hill.
Yes.
We had, these are the names of all the shows you're talking about.
Yeah.
We had in Cleveland. We had so many of them. We had The Ghoul, Son of Ghoul, Frank and Drac, Big Chuck and Little John, Superhost, and then we had Elvira, who was syndicated.
Elvira. Yep, I remember Elvira.
But we had... On our own, we had 5. I grew up with 5 5 local TV horror hosts.
Wow.
And then I ended up doing that when I moved out here in Chino. I was doing my
That's
show
cool.
for a couple of years. Yeah,
Wow.
Schlock Theater.
Did you wear a costume or anything?
I did. I was Lou Schlock, and I had these crazy glasses and this weird fright wig. Hey, gang, we got another real corker for you. It's Night of the Living Dead. Woo! You know, like I have all the video. And I had this little puppet, cable-controlled puppet, Timmy the Troll. And he would sit on my shoulder, and I'd be like, what do you think, Timmy? And then in post, I would add his voice, and he'd be like, he wouldn't say anything. Just like that. And I built a background with like fake bricks. There were styrofoam blocks that went inside the VHS covers that we had at Blockbuster Video when I worked there. And they would throw these things out, just bags of them. And I took them all home and glued them to a piece of cardboard and made a fake dungeon set. You know, like made it look like bricks.
Dude, man, this has been a great episode. You know what? You're making
We should
me
talk about this more later. For
Yeah,
another episode.
I want you to come back. Would you come back? It'd be
Maybe.
great. Maybe? Yeah. Then I'll just book Darnell. No, but
Hey man, I'm still here.
I wonder if he
Still
had
there,
any of those
forgot.
drinks. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm having sex.
He's having cess. He's having cess.
No, but you know what I mean? This is good for me to do this podcast with you because it reminds me of like to do some stuff for fun, you know, and then that's sort of related to why we got into the business. You know what I mean? Like
we forget.
Like, yes, we forget. It's like go down that road of like, this is my, you know,
it's your passion.
Yeah.
Why
something-
did
yeah.
I just very quickly, I was invited to be a guest director or a guest speaker at a voice actor workshop about a month ago. It was one of the most enriching experiences I've had in this business because it was a room of like 10 people. And I didn't really get into the mechanics of like voice. I said, you can learn all the technical shit somewhere else.
Yeah.
I said, and I could actually tie this into the end of the show where you want people to say something that's.
Yes, I was going to say that. Words of wisdom,
This
words of
ties in.
inspiration. Okay, this
So
will be
this'll
it.
be
Yes,
it.
yeah.
And
So
I
tell
said to
us.
them, and what you're talking about, I said, look, remember when you were a kid and you used to just like record stuff onto cassette tape with your friends for fun? Or remember when you put on plays for your family? Like I used to do that at the holidays and do little pageants. Remember when you made little movies with your friends or you drew cartoons or whatever? There was no social media. You were only doing it for yourself. And it didn't matter if the world saw it or who liked it. The point is you liked it and you enjoyed that you were doing it. So I said, remember to just create to create. Just make something to make something. The rest will follow, I assure you. I even told him the example of the horror movie that I'm making. I said, guys, I'm making these special editions of movies I made 30 years ago for no one but myself. A friend of mine recently asked me, why are you doing that? Why are you wasting your time? I said, it is the happiest I've been in years. Like I am euphoric, and it translates to all other parts of my life. That's why I'm back on stage again, because I'm just creating. I'm not worried about, listen, the TV specials will come later, the opportunities will come later, but right now just have fun. Like I think I forget. When you're on stage, it's not about who's in the audience. Am I going to get a deal? All that stuff's going to hamper your work. If you're really up there doing it for real, like if you're really up there just being you and really doing it, someone will notice that. And that's all I have.
Beautiful. Josh Robert Thompson, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm out.
He's out. Later, Darnell. Later, Josh.
Out, man.
All right, now, don't hurt nobody. Don't hurt nobody. Get your jollies. That was great, dude.
That was awesome, man.
We're done with this interview.
Well, look at you. You made it all the way through. I told you it was a good one. Isn't that guy great, man? It's Josh Rob. I wish I could do half the voices he does. I do a few, but I don't do them like he does. Anyways, we got a lot of surprises coming for you guys, and I appreciate you checking out the YouTube channel and the podcast and just telling friends, letting this thing grow, man. And thanks for the reviews and subscriptions and all that good stuff. And I love getting your messages. So keep it up, guys. We're doing it, man. We are doing it. All right, now, don't hurt nobody. Don't hurt nobody. Be careful. Be careful. Don't hurt nobody, including yourself. And we'll see you next week. Darren Carter, party starter. Start that party in your life. See you next week. Bye.
Everybody listen to Darren Carter. We all know he's the party starter. So if you want to listen to a podcast for free, then listen to The pocket party.